Hey everybody, welcome back to the Sonic Chronicle. My name is Owen, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about Irish music for the day that is in it. Now, Irish music, I've talked to a lot of Irish musicians and I've featured a lot of Irish musicians' music on the channel, and it has been very, very good across the board, in my opinion, right? There has been unreal music that has come out of this very, very small island. We have really punched above our weight for a long, long time when it comes to music and artistry generally, I suppose. Obviously, you have massive, massive acts that are famous around the world. Like you've got U2, you've got Snow Patrol, you've got the Cranberries and so on. Massive, massive acts that have been very, very popular. And I think per capita we probably have a very high hit rate in terms of great bands, great musicians generally. And that's something to really, really be proud of, in my opinion. Never mind like all of the local, small time, grassroots musicians that, never get picked up by a label and never get outside of, their county, never mind the island. Recently an Irish radio station put up a poll, right? They put up like a website to collect information from their listeners. And they asked them to post their top 5 Irish songs, greatest Irish songs of all time. And once they had gathered all of that information, they collated it down into a list. And we are actually going to jump onto that website and take a look at that list because they completed it and they released the results of it today. Some of it is a little bit contentious, and we'll get into that in a little bit. Some of it is interesting. From a data perspective, but as I say, we'll get into that in a moment. Before we do get into that though, please do consider hitting the like button. Please do consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already, because it helps me out massively. And of course, if you agree or disagree with anything that I talk about over the course of this video, please do leave me comments in the comment section. Love to get comments, love to see it, and love to have it out with people in the comments section. It's brilliant, love it. With that said and done, let's go over to my other view. We'll take a look at this website and we will look at the 100th song down to the first great Irish song of all time. Alright, so here we are. We are over on the Today FM website. We're at the very, very bottom of this list and we're going to make our way up. Long-term viewers of the channel might remember that Today FM is actually the radio station that I won $250 from on a music quiz that they used to do, and they still do, I think, actually quite regularly. But we are going to take a look at this list together. Number 100, we have Flame by Bell X1. Really, really good song. I like it a lot. From the Flock album by Bell X1. If you haven't listened to that album, I recommend it. I think Flame is a really good song, but I think that there are better songs on it. I particularly like Lampposts. I think that's a lovely song. Number 99, we've got Falling Slowly by Glenn Hansard and Marketa Irglova. That was from the movie Once, I believe. Academy Award winning song, actually. So, probably deserves to be on the list. Probably further up. Van Morrison's Days Like This. I don't like Van Morrison. I don't like Van Morrison because, well, primarily because of his views on vaccines. But also his music is just not as good as people make it out to be. Like, sure, there are some great ones, but I don't think that it balances out. Euro Country is a little bit of recency bias here, I think. Oh Yeah by Ash is like, oh yeah, she was taking me over. Which you might have seen on my video when we went to see Ash there quite recently. If you haven't seen that video, go and watch that video after this one. Slow Hands by Niall Horan. Is that an Irish song, I wonder? Bear with me 1 second here. Let's take a quick here. Written by Horan. Okay. Alexander Izquierdo. Okay. So it was written by a bunch of people, including him. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'll give him that. San Diego Song by the Coronas. This Town by Niall Horan. Alright, let's take a look at This Town. I take it he wrote that one. This town, back to you. That's the song, isn't it? Yeah, he's popular. Written by him and a bunch of other people as well. One of his frequent collaborators, apparently. He's American though. But yes, he had a hand in it. I'll give him that. I'll give him that. The Frames, Star Star is a good song as well. The Frames are going to be on here a few times, I think. But for me, I think the best song by the Frames is probably 7 Year Mile. If you haven't heard that song, that's a great one. 7 Year Mile is a song that was actually featured in House MD, the episode where he leaves rehab, and it's the end of the episode when he gets on the bus. Galway Girl featuring Sharon Shannon is absolutely not one of the best songs, best Irish songs ever written, in my opinion. This one, Friends in Time by Golden Horde. I don't actually know this one. Let's pull this one up on the old YouTube here. It sounds familiar, but I don't know it immediately. I love the Thunderbird though. It's a little bit Ramonesy, but so far feels pretty mid. I'm flicking through this. This is decidedly mid. Gonna hit them with an old disagree on that one. So that one is better than Euro Country by CMAT. Better than Star Star by the Frames. No, absolutely not. Let's look at 89 down to 80. Shining Light by Ash is a good song. Schoolyard Days by Amble, that's quite good. River Dance is only at number 87. Again, listener poll. Don't Go by Hot House Flowers is a decent song. High Hopes by Code Line is probably one of their better ones. High Hopes, it takes me back to where we started. High Hopes. A Pair of Brown Eyes by the Pogues, good one. Mary by the Four of Us, that's another decent song. Very simple arrangement, but very effective. Dirty Old Town by the Dubliners. Dirty Old Town. Was that written by Dirty Old Town? Yeah, we'll get there. Don't worry about that. Yeah, I did mean that. Written by Ewan MacColl. British. Not an Irish song. Sorry, not an Irish song. Runaway by the Corrs. Take a Sexy Picture of Me by CMAT. This is recency bias again. Take a Sexy Picture of Me by CMAT is a fine song, but I don't think Take a Sexy Picture of Me should be this far up here. More recency bias, Fontaines, I Love You. Power Over Me by Dermot Kennedy. It's grand. He's got a very specific sounding voice, and that I think a number of people have taken and run with, and I think that producers are kind of using it as well, and kind of encouraging their vocalists to pursue that sound as well. I don't like Mondays by the Boomtown Rats. It's not even the best Boomtown Rats song, but I don't know, are they on here multiple times? We'll see. Breathless by the Corrs. Did I talk about that? Brown Eyed Girl by Van Morrison. It's so mid, but maybe it's just because I've heard it so many times at weddings. No Frontiers by Mary Black. Now there's a song. In fact, there should be a number of Mary Black songs in here. Like Past the Point of Rescue that I did a cover of. That should be on here. That's a really good song. If it's an Irish song. Woman's Heart is actually incredible as a song. U2, heavy hitter. Still haven't found what I'm looking for. U2 were at their best in the 80s, in my opinion. Like Sunday Bloody Sunday, still haven't found what I'm looking for. Bad, New Year's Day, great stuff. Really, really good stuff. And then they got to the 90s and they were still okay, and then the 2000s hit and not... Yeah, I owned All That You Can't Leave Behind, and I owned How to Dismantle an Atomic Bomb, but they weren't a patch on the 80s stuff. Saints and Sinners by Paddy Casey. Now there's an interesting one. For those of you who haven't heard it, let's pull this one up. This is a song that he hates. And he wrote it. He hates it because he put it on his album because the label, from what I recall, wanted something that was marketable and radio friendly, so he threw this together and stuck it on the record, and they ran with this one, and he hated it because he threw it together so quickly. That's what I remember the story being anyway. And he kind of shows in the lyricism here. And then it gets to the chorus. Making saints and sinners, losers and winners. But that's not what your dreams should be. Alright, and that's the gist of it. That's Saints and Sinners by Paddy Casey. Coming back to the list. All I Want by Codaline. I don't remember that one. I think High Hopes was probably my favourite one. Or Honest. Honest is a good one actually by Codaline. But then after that album, they kind of fell off. Beautiful Day by U2. That's an interesting one. It's fine. It's not my favourite. Although the music video is very memorable because they did have the plane flying over them and stuff. Into the Mystic by Van Morrison. That's a decent one in fairness. Giants by Dermot Kennedy. Favourite by Fontaines. Derek Doom by Horselips. I think that's the only Horselips song that's on this list as well, which is tragic because Derek Doom is even the best song by Horselips. It's very good. It's not even their best song though. And their career is actually incredible. If you can find it might even be on YouTube. Let's take a quick look here. Yeah, okay. So this is a documentary about Horselips. This is called Return to the Dance Hall Sweethearts. And it talks about their career. And it's amazing. It's actually a brilliant documentary because their career is very short-lived. It's about
and
6
about how
years.
doing it at all affected an awful lot of people. Its impact on an enormous amount of people because we saw in Horselips something that was ours.
Yeah, so their career was about 6 years long. And through that time, they went from being kind of like this glam rock band that had been thrown together for an ad campaign through to them kind of looking like Green Day during the American Idiot tour, trying to break America with a song that was appropriately titled The Man Who Built America, which is a great song. So good to know that documentary is on YouTube there if you do want to find it and watch it. Hello, 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 Petrol by Something Happens. Not my favourite Something Happens song. I think Parachutes is better, but I think Parachutes is on this list. Funny thing about Something Happens is that their singer is a guy named Tom Dunn, who used to have a radio show called Pet Sounds on Today FM. And it was probably one of the better shows that was on this station. Lonely Island by Amble, not to be confused with The Lonely Island. Take My Hand by Picture This. I don't really rate Picture This. They're from Wexford, Waterford, I believe. But yeah, that's an Irish song. Rock and Roll Kids by Charlie McGettigan and Paul Harrington. 1994's entry into the Eurovision Song Contest. It is an absolute classic. Maybe we'll take a quick listen to this. Like, look at these two guys. Look at that glorious hair. Look at the locks. And look at what the Eurovision used to be. Very simple setup. I think we hosted it this year as well. Oh yeah, because Riverdance was the halftime show, effectively. He was so handsome.
I was 16
And so were you.
and we lived next door on
You
the
ever knew. This has been very formative for me.
He was big and Elvis too.
Like, I watched this live
Blue
at the time.
jeans and blue suede shoes, and we never knew what life held in store.
It's the chorus that is
We just wanted to rock and
Gets
roll
it.
forever.
evermore.
We were
Rock and roll was all we did, listening to those songs on the radio. So yes, it was a big one for me. Clearly a lovely song, very good song. Upon a time, now we never seem to rock and roll anymore. Yeah, unreal. Unreal. I can't listen to the whole thing. Absolutely I can't. Let's get back to this. Alright. World of Our Own by Westlife. Westlife had to be on there somewhere, but was World of Our Own written by Irish people? Let's find out. World of Our Own song. Who wrote it? Steve Mack, British. Wayne Hector, British. Dennis Morgan, American. Simon Climie, English. Not an Irish song. Emotional Fish, Celebrate. That's actually a great song. That's a brilliant song, actually. Yeah. Yeah, look, let's have a quick listen, just a little bit. So look, An Emotional Fish are kind of a great iconic band from Ireland. Jerry Fish is an unreal artist and showman, and Celebrate is just like a banger. It is an absolute banger. I think this one deserves to be on the list. He looks nothing like this anymore. He looks very different. He's bald, I believe. Maybe he's a little mohawk. He's got like a little handlebar mustache and stuff. This party's over. I'm going home. And this just builds really nicely over the course of the song. To the point where he's screaming it at the end. It's a cool little lick there as well. Let's jump towards the next chorus. This party's over. I'm going home. Quality. So that's An Emotional Fish. That's Emotional Fish, Celebrate. Really, really, really good song. And they've had a few other really good songs that I think are on the list as well. And Jerry, as I say, has gone on to perform his own solo stuff as well. Has a lovely song called True Friends. True Friends Never Part. Yeah, really, really good. Diamonds and Roses is not by Night. It's actually by Kingfisher. The Man Who Can't Be Moved by The Script is fine. People probably know that one. It was massive around 2000 and... Well, I was about to say 15, but it's actually way earlier. 2010? 2011? Maybe 2009, 2010? Somewhere around there. Sultans of Ping FC, Where's Me Jumper? Starts out with a little drum beat. Then the singer kicks in. My brother knows Karl Marx. He met him eating mushrooms in the People Park. He's asked, what do you think about my manifesto? I like your manifesto. Put it to the testo. So yeah, that just... goes to show what Sultans of Ping FC are about. But their other really good song is Give Him a Ball in a Yard of Grass. Just really fun post-punk, I think, is what it is. Number 56, When You're Looking Like That by Westlife. Blah. 55, Heyday by Mick Christopher. Great song. Too Sweet by Hosier, I don't rate it. People who have watched the channel will be aware of the mashup that I did of Too Sweet and Crazy by Gnarls Barkley. So I think if Hosier's on here, Gnarls Barkley should probably be on here. Put 'Em Under Pressure by the Republic of Ireland Football Squad 1990. that is a gem. It is a gem of Irish culture because it features the main riff from Jarek Doom by Horselips and audio clips from Jack Charlton, the manager of the Irish football team at the time. So really, really iconic song. Sarah by Thin Lizzy, great song. Old Town by Phil Lynott, amazing. If only for the trumpet solo on that, great. Cannonball, excellent song. Mary's Pub by Amble is fine. Bad by U2 is brilliant. Starbuster by Fontaines is fine. Fontaines, I don't really rate them. The first album, I heard Boys from the Better Lands, and I thought, this is really good. And then I listened to the whole album, and I thought, oh, this is just the same thing all the way through. Very similar sound, very overproduced, in my opinion. Heroes or Ghosts by Coronas. The Coronas I don't rate massively. The singer, I think his aunt is in politics as well, and gives him like access to different bits and pieces. He gets a lot of grants, or the band get a lot of grants and things like that. I think there's some nepotism going on there, but that's a whole other conversation to have. Sunday Bloody Sunday is brilliant. Haunted by Shane MacGowan and Sinead O'Connor is brilliant as well. But I think The Wolf Is Getting Married should probably be on this list by Sinead O'Connor, but it is not. Let's have a quick listen to Haunted. So yeah, this is a really beautiful one as well. But Sinead O'Connor, incredible singer. Stop that, Microsoft.
Somewhere in London, in the middle of nowhere.
So this is, I don't know what year this was actually.
Didn't wanna do nothing anyway.
Big dobro.
You got a way of walking.
So this is just an unreal collaboration. Like, he's just so brash and in your face compared to the fragility and the delicate pronunciation and vocal of Sinead O'Connor. But it's such a lovely juxtaposition. Precious drove. Excellent stuff. Like Goosebumps stuff, Alright, back to the list. Eve the Apple of My Eye by Bell X1. I think everyone is aware of that one, I think. The song that played on the OC to the gay kiss, the lesbian kiss, I believe. Excellent song, beautiful song. I used to cover it, in fact. I mostly covered it whenever I did gigs by myself when I performed live. I used to love to perform Eve the Apple of My Eye. I think I did it pretty much every time. I Used to Love Her by the Saw Doctors should not be at number 42. It should not be ahead of Eve the Apple of My Eye or pretty much anything that we've seen up to this point. It feels like it's kind of a novelty song. It's not, but it feels that way. Parachute by Something Happens, that is the better Something Happens song in my opinion. Flying Without Wings by Westlife, again, probably not an Irish song. Joxer Goes to Stuttgart by Christy Moore, amazing song. Again, related to the 1990 World Cup, which is kind of a cultural touchstone for Irish people. July by Mundy, I hate it, and I'll tell you why I hate it. Strap in, folks. Nah, I'm only messing. This is a pretty straightforward one. I hate July by Mundy because I used to live in a house share, and the only song that one of the guys that lived there during my time that I was there, the only song that he used to play was July by Mundy, and he played it on repeat. And he left his room locked and left the song playing on repeat. And he wasn't back for a few days. So the walls were also quite thin in that house. So that's why I hate July by Mundy. Orinoco Flow is actually a banger by Enya. That's just a really good song. Snow Patrol Run, I think everyone knows that one. Galileo by Declan O'Rourke. People love that song. I don't. I don't think it's particularly amazing, but people listen to it and they love it. They think that he's very, very good at singing it. I think his singing is overrated. Controversial take, a bit of a hot take there. But let's pull it up and let's. What do you think? So the interesting thing about Declan O'Rourke and Galileo is that apparently he and Paddy Casey were roommates at the time that they both kind of came up. So when Paddy Casey was massively popular with this song that he hated called Saints and Sinners, Declan O'Rourke was getting a lot of praise for this. So I don't rate his singing. I think actually Emma Langford does a better version of this. Particularly in the choruses. He's a bit off. And particularly when he gets into the high notes, the higher register, I don't think he's very strong. We'll get there in a second. It's very weak. It is very weak. I don't like it. Anyway, that is Galileo. It's slightly different now, but that is Galileo by Declan O'Rourke. Right On by Christy Moore is a classic, but I don't think it should be number 34. Score Not His Simplicity by Luke Kelly. I think that's Score Not His Simplicity. That is a song written by Phil Coulter, I believe. Let's pull that one up. Yeah, that's by Phil Coulter. And Phil Coulter is an Irish songwriter because he's from Derry. So I'll let him off with that one. But it's an interesting one because Phil wrote a lot of good songs. He wrote songs for Elvis, even, I believe. I think My Boy was a song that I believe he did for Elvis. In fact, let's take a quick look here. Hired to work with acts like Billy Connolly, Van Morrison, Jerry Lee Lewis, and Tom Jones. Songwriting partnership, worked with Sandy Shaw. Maybe I'm making that up. Maybe I'm making it up. No, hang on. My Boy. The Coulter Martin translation of a French song sung by Elvis Presley. Alright, okay. So that's where that came from. I thought that he did it for Elvis. Apparently not. This Is by Aslan is actually a good song. I saw Aslan many years ago, probably 2007. I saw Aslan. A fine show. They were grand. They were grand. They did their show and they did a cover of Pink Floyd's "Wish You Were Here" as part of it. Frankly, because Aslan don't have a ton of songs, I imagine is why. But this is probably one of their better songs. They have another song I know further up the list, which I don't think should be there. But anyway, Revelate by The Frames is a very popular song. I don't think it's their best one. Where the Streets Have No Name, again, very popular song for U2. Whiskey in the Jar, popular song for Thin Lizzy. So I think that if we were to call this the most popular Irish songs, I think this would be a fine list. But I don't necessarily think they're the greatest Irish songs. After All by the Frank and Walters is actually really good though. The Streets of New York is really good. The Island by Paul Brady is incredible as a song. You should listen to that. Teenage Kicks by the Undertones, great song, love it. Loved it every time that I've seen the Undertones, which is twice, I think. Blower's Daughter by Damien Rice has a soft spot. I have a soft spot for that one because I used to perform it when I used to go to pubs as a teenager, and when we used to have like a session, people would just like bring their instruments along, and I used to perform The Blower's Daughter by Damien Rice. Not as well as Mr. Rice. Dancing in the Moonlight by Thin Lizzy, also have a soft spot for that one because I used to play that one live as well. In fact, if you look at my Instagram, or maybe I even have it on this channel, if you look at my shorts even, you might see a short of me playing guitar and singing Dancing in the Moonlight when I was in a cover band. On Raglan Road, great one. One by U2 is fine. Maniac 2000 is unbelievable. So it was basically this DJ put together Maniac, and he put a beat behind it and then did like DJ stuff, and it became incredibly popular. For like weeks and weeks it was number one, and it is again one of those cultural touchstones here in Ireland. Came out in the year 2000, as the name would suggest. The Boys Are Back in Town, great one. Somewhere in Dublin I don't rate. It's not one of my favourite Irish songs, but Bagatelle are an Irish band. Mandinka by Sinead O'Connor from The Cobra and the Snake, or The Cobra, Lion and the Cobra, her first album, her big album. N17 by the Saw Doctors, very popular around where I'm from, or where I'm living. The Voyage by Christy Moore is a beautiful song as well, about family and growing up and realizing what you have. It's a lovely, lovely song. It becomes more and more relevant to me the older I get. Linger by the Cranberries, Hometown Heroes, Rocky Took a Lover. That's a great, great song by Bell X1. And so they've appeared a number of times. Like Rocky Took a Lover, the opening line to it is brilliant. He said, "I want to shine in the eye of our Orion, but I drove my soul through the black hole." She said, "That's a wonderful way to wake me. But you weren't so nice last night. You're such an asshole when you're drunk." She said, "At least I'm okay in the mornings." It's so good. So good. Chasing Cars by Snow Patrol is a good song. It's not even the best Snow Patrol song. Grace is a lovely song. With or Without You by U2. Good song. Yeah, good song. It's featured in Friends. Yeah. The greatest? Probably not, but again, important. It's a really, really good song. Fairy Tale of New York every year gets played. Killa by Kingfisher doesn't deserve to be this far up, let alone on the list. Brewing Up a Storm by The Stunning. That's a great song. Let's take a quick look at that one. It's like, even from the opening riff, it's got such a great energy to it. And then they drop it out and just drives. It's got an urgency to it. Really, really good. I need a platter, I take it straight from the shelf. Give it to me raw, I'll take it home, cook it myself. I'm brewing up a storm. So that is The Stunning Brewing Up a Storm. I think they had an issue with the name at some point, and they had to change their name to The Walls. And they had another great song called The Bright and Shining Sun as The Walls. We're almost there. We're almost finished. Crazy World by Aslan is a good song, but I think this is a better song. Take Me to Church by Hozier is a great, great, great song. Dreams by the Cranberries, really great song. Rainy Night in Soho, beautiful, beautiful. Probably one of the most beautiful songs. Probably one of the most beautiful songs. Nothing Compares to You by Sinead O'Connor, not an Irish song. Written by Prince, not an Irish song. And they selected as number one, the listeners of Today FM selected the Cranberries' Zombie as the greatest Irish song of all time. Now, I take umbrage with a number of songs on this list because, again, a lot of them aren't Irish songs. First of all, they're written by people who are British or American. right? They're not all written by Irish people, so I don't think that they should be classified as Irish. They're songs by Irish artists, and I think that they are probably some of the more popular Irish songs, but I don't think they're the greatest Irish songs. Now, for me, I actually did go in and I did vote on this, and my 5 songs that I selected were, I believe, Emma Langford's Birdsong. I selected Mushroom, Devil Among the Tailors. I selected Mango and Mathman, Deep Blue Sea, because I think that's a great song. I selected In Their Thousands, The Woodcutter. That is an excellent song. And who else did I go with? Oh man, this is I'm gonna be annoyed with this one, with not remembering who this one was. Yeah, because I think it's probably someone who deserves a bit of recognition as well. Maybe I went with myself. Maybe I just stuck myself in there for the crack of it. Maybe I went with John Steele. He has a new song out. You should listen to that. A friend of the show. But anyway, I will provide those, or I will pop that list of songs that I selected up there, and maybe I'll include links in the description as well. But that is it. That's the top 100 of greatest Irish songs per Today FM listeners. What do you think? Is it a good list? Does it make sense to you? To you, is it are they the greatest Irish songs of all time? Let me know in the comments, and of course, be sure to like and subscribe if you like what I do generally. But that's really the video, folks. Happy St. Patrick's Day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.